if it's true that labor is going to be catastrophically impacted by AI and robotics, then I think we're going to have a crisis of meaning. If an AI can do everything that is related to farming and agriculture, if it can identify the weather patterns, identify what are the seeds to plant, when, where, harvest them end to end, across a massive amount of and displace a massive amount of farmers as a result, or it can do product management and product execution and do all that, identify what are the right products across the entire population, build the products that are needed, et cetera, then I think we're gonna have a massive crisis of meaning. People are not gonna know what to do with themselves. People, I think, identify heavily with their jobs. We are always asking each other, what do we do when we meet new people, right? What do you do? I'm a farmer. I'm a whatever, et cetera, et cetera. I'm a product manager. I'm a trader. And as a result of no longer being able to identify with a job or a career because those jobs have been displaced or have been, the thing that we love about them has been replaced by AI. I think we have a crisis of meaning. We have a crisis of identity, of value, of sense of self. And my prediction would be religion comes in as a result, because up until now we've had some things answering us in terms of like, how do we derive meaning? I mean, I think that meaning is what you make of it, and that we are meaning machines, and we create our own meaning, and that's what religion has been an answer for en masse. I mean, despite science advances and despite atheism and humanism and sciences, religions are as strong as they ever have been, right? And we have billions of people who believe in different religions, especially Judeo-Christian Islamic religions. And so, like, what does that mean for these religions? If I had money, if I could put money into religions, that maybe that's the place to put it, right? Because there might be a massive amount of people who are lost, and not to mention like the loss of understanding what society is when AI is increasingly doing the things that we value as humans, and it's happening so fast that the crisis of meaning is going to hit us like a freight train, right? And the only answer right now that works, en masse is religion. Humanism, I think, is not there. I don't think atheism is quite there either. Atheism doesn't really have necessarily an answer other than you should make your own meaning, which I'm not sure is a message that can be packaged and ritualized and communalized in a way that is as good as what religion has done for thousands of years. And so I think that's very provocative to me. We might have a renaissance of how religions are executed, are created, in the way that they are, run, right? Do you run towards new religions? Do these religions also get impacted by how AI is run, right? And how AI does things? Do we have AI? And we already seeing today, like, there are AI pastors, right? And people are even using, I think I saw somebody use AI to fabricate someone's a dead person, and having them kind of like speak from the beyond, right? And so, like, what does that mean? Fascinating to me, very provocative. And maybe there's also new religions, right? The AI religions. Like, if an AI increasingly resembles God, then or an omniscient being or an all-knowing being, and that can talk to you in a way that feels almost human, or does feel human, then what kind of religions come out of that? And what do I think of, and how do I conceptualize what is that? I think that's really provocative. At the same time, I think about what jobs are going to make it, and this is the confirmation bias part, because I am in content and entertainment, and I wonder if, hey, will robots ever replace humans in terms of entertainment? And I know there's like the Molt book that just happened. I've heard of robot DJs, and I've heard of even robots, potentially performing something. I've seen robot dancers, but I think right now that's novelty. I think the reason why people are even talking them in the social media is because there's a novelty to it. But once you see a robot dance once, will you want to see it again? I don't know. Drones are interesting because drones are so different that we don't even think of it as robots. They're not humanoid. And so that is entertaining. But is that as kind of resonant as, I don't know, Taylor Swift, who has a relationship with people, has their own human experience in their story. And so are we going to thereby prize human ingenuity and creativity and performance in the wake of that? Which is interesting because maybe in a lot of ways, commerce and consumerism and capitalism became a new religion. Does that become manifest via celebrity culture, post AI celebrity culture and post AI entertainment culture? Does that become even more profoundly resonant, at the same time supercharged and religious? And I think that's where things are kind of gonna be weird, right? Like if I turn to religion, if I turn to Christianity, which is the dominant religion, if I turn to Christianity in the wake of my search for meaning, right? And you have millions and maybe even billions of people who turn to Christianity for that. And then you have a celebrity who identifies as Christian and leans into that in the wake of AI, post AI Christian celebrity. That sounds like that's going to happen. I feel like, I think that why wouldn't it, right? Why wouldn't that be really, really resonant and really provocative for a lot of people? So I don't know. And who knows where this is going to go. Obviously, religions are very complex systems, but they are community, they are ritual, they are meaning machines, they are answering people where they are at a lot of the time. And yeah, I don't know where it's going to go. And I think that's extremely fascinating.